Welcome to the Over 40 Alpha Podcast with your host, Funk Roberts.
We are live, and welcome to the Over 40 Alpha Podcast. This is episode number 167, and I'm your host, Funk Roberts, former professional athlete turned health and fitness expert, specifically for men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and this podcast is for you, the man over 40, where we talk about mindset, we talk about sleep, we talk about recovery, both physical recovery and mental recovery, mental health recovery. We talk about nutrition. We talk about workouts, of course. We talk about supplementation. We talk about testosterone. We talk about overall health issues. And of course, we talk about transformation journeys and success. And on this podcast today, we're going to talk to James Rice, the incredible man who transformed himself, who went from 300 pounds, a guy who was injury riddled, couldn't fit into even a triple X shirt, all the way down to 150 pounds, where he stood on stage winning a national body transformation contest that was put on by Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's right, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so today, I mean, listen, guys, one of the things that Arnold says is people need to see success. Right? People need to see that it's possible. And we also need to know that, hey guys, it's possible for us to change in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, because James did it at 52. He stood on stage at 52. He lost 100 pounds at 52. But it's also important to ask for help and be inspired. And today you're going to be inspired. I'm inspired. I'm inspired by this journey that we went on, the journey that he took us on, from growing up to his divorce and loss of a business, to being 300 pounds through COVID, what he did, and then standing on stage, winning a body transformation contest. And from there, where he's at now, and everything in between. And it's these type of journeys that are important for us, right? Because these are the stories that, if we want to start, or if you've been on and off and can't get consistency, or you need motivation, right? Because no one really can motivate you, but these are stories that you can use as anchors to inspire you. And James's story is incredible. And you're going to learn about James. You're going to learn about his 100-pound war. You're going to learn about his what he does and how he mentors thousands of people inside Arnold's Pump Club community. And this is just a normal guy. He lives in Canada. He lives in Markham. He's a fellow Canadian. But his journey is incredible. And we're going to take you on it in this episode. But before we get to the episode, I want you to know that it is not too late to transform your body. He did it at 52, and every day I see guys in their 60s and even 70s literally transforming their body. No one who comes into my program comes in with a six-pack or already on a transformation journey. They're coming in where they need help. They ask for help. They need help. And you can also get help, because if you don't know what to eat, if you don't know what workouts to do, if you don't know how to stay injury-free, if you don't know how to stay motivated and self-motivated and inspired, then how are you going to make a change for you and your family and the people around you? You need to ask for help. So, for just $1 and 30 days, you can join the Over 40 Alpha Brotherhood, the workout nutrition plan, the program that over 15,000 men from all over the world use, even to this day, to completely transform their bodies and lives and continue down that journey of being a new wave of man. For $1 and 30 days, you're going to get follow-along workouts. You're going to be training with me. You're going to get a nutrition plan, Amazon best-selling book written about the Test Boost nutrition plan, which is a simple plan where you're going to eat delicious foods, but it's going to fuel your hormones, fuel your testosterone, fuel your fat loss, fuel your body. You're going to get yoga and mobility routines so you stay injury-free as you go through the workouts. You're going to get sleep strategies and tips, because we know how important sleep is. You're going to get mindset and mental health tools to help guide you through the stress that a lot of men, a lot of us hold and keep. You're also going to get access to the Funkster, because We're on a call every single Friday. It's our coaching call, live coaching call every Friday. You're going to be part of that. I answer your questions through our Ask Funk, and I'm in the Facebook group all the time. Listen, this is a program specifically designed for men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Listen, even if you're in your 30s, this is the one. Go to over40alpha.com, and for $1, dude, it's $1 for 30 days. You literally go through a 30-day program for $1. And if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. If you don't like it, you can cancel. Doesn't matter. But there's 36 phases. So you have a program that you can literally use for the rest of your life, but it starts with $1. Let me prove to you that I can help you. Let me prove to you that with this program, you can lose 5 to 20 pounds in the first month. Let me prove to you that when you have the most important thing, which is a brotherhood, a community of guys, we have a brotherhood of men from all over the world who come together in this community, who support each other, who, doesn't matter. It's all backgrounds, races, religion, but we don't talk religion. We don't talk politics. We don't talk pop culture. We just focus on helping each other stay focused, accountable, and supporting each other. No judgment. Which is why everyone inside the brotherhood continues to get results to this day. We need community. We need support. We need help in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. People on the same journey, men on the same journey. And for $1, guys, 30 days. This isn't a 7-day trial. This isn't a 14-day trial. It's 30 days. It's the entire phase 1. Like, what do you have to lose? But wait. So get in. Go to over40alpha.com, $1. I challenge you. To sign up. And I'll show you how I can help you lose weight and also adopt a healthy lifestyle specifically for us guys who go through physiological changes that no one else knows about. So join the Over 40 Alpha Brotherhood, www.over40alpha.com, and I'll see you on the other side. And right now, I want you to get inspired and motivated by James Rice and this episode. Enjoy the episode. Thank you so much for being on today's podcast. Today, I am super excited because I love a transformation story. I love the transformation journey. I have my own transformation story, and we have a lot of our other guys in the program, but being able to completely transform your body, your life, your health, that takes a lot, right? From being where you were before to where you go during and then after. And today I'm really excited because we have James Rice on the podcast to talk about his transformation journey, his Transform Yourself book, the Pump Club story, and more. So please tune in, and thank you so much, James, for being on the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much, Funk, for having me. It's a great honor to be here.
Yeah, so I mean, right off the bat, 300 pounds, that's where you started. And so, one of the things I want to talk about is your journey, right? Like, let's take us back. Take us back to the origin before the transformation. So where you're from, what your upbringing was like, and then we'll continue down there.
Oh gosh, yeah. So I was from Canada. Funk said this was going to be a deep dive into my life. I'm from Canada, from just outside Toronto. I grew up in a small town, and the small town mothers and grandmothers are amazing bakers. They bake from scratch and make fantastic cookies and pies and cakes. And I became rapidly addicted to sugar at a very young age, eating chocolate puddings for breakfast. But when you're young, you burn it off, and everything is wonderful and fine. But that sugar addiction remained my entire life. And when I got older, of course, I got the little belly starting to happen, but I still remained active. However, when I hit some stressful times, some really, really tough times, where, going through divorce, losing, having to sell my business, my home, really hit rock bottom. The weight gain became the issue, because I just went for the sugary foods that I had kind of grew up on. And when you're 48, 49, that is not the food that you should be eating. And so that led me to massive weight gain very, very quickly. But yeah, I grew up fairly normal childhood, but with a lot of sugar, I can tell you.
So when you were in, I'm going to take you back. When you were in high school, like when when did the like in high school did you play sports?
Sure.
Were you overweight in high school?
No, I would say I was slightly overweight, but I wasn't obese. I didn't have an issue in high school or university. It was more older. I had a sports injury that injured my knee, and that followed me, and it kind of became my excuse when I got over 40. The knee
Mm,
doesn't work. I got to stop playing ice hockey. I can't do this. I can't do that. It became made me a victim in many respects of to my knee.
mm.
We're going to talk about this, but I just finished my first 5K run ever in my life. Well, actually, I think I did one when I was, 11 years old, the last time I did it. So
Yeah.
there's a mindset change that you have to go through where, yes, I have an injury. Yes, I have arthritis in my knee. It's developed. Yes, I have arthritis in my shoulder. That's a problem. But
Mm,
these should not limit you to what you can do. You have to do different types of exercises. You have to do different types of programs, perhaps. But that
mm.
doesn't limit what activities you can do. Did I win the 5K run? Absolutely not. I finished 710th.
Wow,
It was not a strong finish on my part, but I
that's okay.
finished it. And 10 years ago, there was no way in hell I would be running a race or even considering running a race. So the injury was there, and it became a crutch. It became an excuse to not exercise, to not, learn about how to take care of my body. And I had to
Mm,
overcome that. I'm still overcoming that even today after doing the 5K, where I have new kind of muscle pain and realize that I'm not walking properly. I'm limping on the one side, which I'm causing a problem with my glute medius, and so
mm.
we just working on that this week. Where okay, I need to sort of work on some new muscles and strengthening some new areas of my body. So you're always learning, and that's the big takeaway from my whole process is that it's not over. It doesn't stop when you lose the weight. You're
Yeah,
always learning and trying to improve on what you can do in the future.
yeah. Yeah, so you said you played hockey. So is that something you played throughout your like from a kid all the way?
Yeah,
What age did you get that knee injury? Do
I
you remember
was.
how old you
It
were?
was in university. It was just after university, so 22, 23 years old. So I've had it
Okay.
for it's actually bone on bone. And
Yeah.
when they do the examination, I thought, can you shoot some of that stuff in it, to make
Yeah.
it a lubrication? And
Cortisone.
they
Yeah.
were they were like, you know what? You have flattened it out so perfectly
Wow.
that if you can
Yeah.
stand the pain, there's not much we can do to the bone on bone now. So I'm like, oh, okay, it is what it is.
Okay, so you had that knee injury at 23. Now, talk to me about like you said you owned a business or you said you had to sell a business. So what was life from 23 to 40?
So 23 to 40, I was developing my career, and I did open my business in my mid 30s, my own business,
What was that?
and building a family, all the normal stuff that you do as an everyday person. I did all of that, and opening the business was one of our goals, and we succeeded in doing that, which leads to all kinds of stress, and
Yeah.
and you can talk about stress eating, and there was some of that in my situation, but I would say it was more of a habit of using sugar and
Mm,
sugary pastries, sugary carbs
mm,
power me through a day, as
yeah.
opposed to exercise and nutrition. So, if you're a man out there in your 40s and you're reaching for sugary carbs now, and processed foods and all the unhealthy stuff, that can change. That's something that you've got to modify in your diet. When I was 20, I could eat that stuff, that crap. I had no problem burning it off. And 20
Right.
year olds have no problem burning that off. But I can't
Yes.
I can't burn it off now without a ton of work, a ton of hard work. In fact, I was telling somebody if I have a piece of cake or a piece of pie, I have to kind of accept, because of what I've learned about my body, I have to accept that I am not going to have any weight loss for 3 days. My sugar is going to be up. My weight loss is not going to move for 3 days. So if I have a Sunday night piece of pie, Wednesday is when the scale will move. And I've learned that just about my body. That's just whatever happens. That's the way it processes. And I don't mind having a piece of pie now.
Right.
But I have to accept the consequences.
Exactly. So what type of business did you guys open?
I had a school. It was a English as a second language school. So
Okay.
right now in Canada, around the world, international students kind of have a bad name. But I was in that market, and very very stressful when you get government involved in your life, and we're seeing that a lot in today's world where government is involved. It can cause, because you can't control those scenarios, and that causes a tremendous amount of stress.
So you had this school, and were you a teacher at the school, or were you just running the school?
I was both. I taught, and I owned it as well, and I ran it. Yeah.
And so were there long nights? Like, did you have like long days, long nights, and kind of that's why I know that when some guys, they have specific different jobs, right? So if you work like on the road, or if you work construction, or you're not like in a place like I have three companies, so I work from home, but can you like, is that one of the things too that led to like that bad eating because you're always on the go type thing, or
So
not time to sit down and eat?
the mindset that I have, and I've heard other business owners have, and other people working at maybe an executive level, is that they think of themselves last. They put their family first, they put their customers second, maybe their
Mm,
employees third, and then themselves fourth. And that's
mm,
kind of my mindset prior to the weight loss, was that I would always put other people ahead of me and
mhm,
their needs. And what happened was that you can't possibly keep doing that without having repercussions on your own health. And for me, it was weight gain, because absolutely, I'm working 7 days a week. I'm working with my employees, with my customers, but then I go home, I take care of my kids, and I'm running around with them, and there's no
yeah,
time for me. And one
right.
of the things I tell people right away is, you have to tell your family and your friend that you need to be selfish, a little selfish about yourself. And one of the transformations in my family is, I say, look, at 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. is my time. I'm going to work out. I'm going to the gym every day or every other day, or whatever my routine might be for that week. And that's
Yeah,
my time. The other time, I tell my customers or my employees, now I don't own the company, but I still work at an executive level. I tell them at
yeah,
8 p.m., the phone is off. You'll never get a hold of me after 8 p.m. That's the
yeah,
time I need to get quiet down and get ready for bed. And
yeah.
it's a little selfish. I understand, but
No,
that is the reality. If you want to have a healthy lifetime, you need to just be a little selfish and take that time for you. And my family has accepted it and understand it. And I've become better because of it. I've become healthier, more energetic, stronger, and able to help them better now than I did when I was 300 pounds.
yeah. So I think I like to use the word boundaries because selfish gets a negative name, but we have to be selfish with our health. We have to be selfish about everything because we can't serve our families, we can't serve our business, we can't serve our customers if we are out of shape, overweight, in the hospital because of some type of cholesterol, a chronic health disease that happens. So I like to say boundaries because when you set boundaries, you allow yourself to have a guilt-free kind of time, right? To know that, okay, I don't feel guilty that I'm selfish. I'm more like I'm setting boundaries and people understand that. And we all agree, okay, here are the boundaries I'm setting. Here's when you can get in hold of me. It's the other 20 hours or whatever it is of the day. But this is my time for me so that I can serve you. You know what I mean? And I think that that's great that you did that. But I just want to ask you
Also, I
another
want to
question.
say, because the other thing is sometimes, well, my wife or my kids or this or that. My wife has now started to do her own, well, boundaries, if you want to use it, where at nighttime she does her yoga, and that's her time.
Yeah.
And she's accepted that, and we've accepted that as a couple. So it works both ways. It's a two-way street. So you can help your entire family with that respect, and the kids
I
accept it. The kids accept it.
Yeah, I think that's great. They see their dad completely transform. I mean, one of the things about being a father is it's not what we say, it's what we do, right? And what you did, and we'll get to the transformation in a bit, but what you did was you showed through action that, hey guys, you see what happens when I don't do anything or when I'm, not focused on myself. B, now I'm focused on myself. Look at where I'm at right now. And the kids see that and
So
they're like,
I
dude, dad's my
I
hero.
want a word of warning though. So here's a word of warning for men over 40. After I lost all that weight, I had a tremendous amount of energy. And at 50 years old, I had a baby, another baby. So I have a 4-year old running
That's
around
great.
now. So be careful what you wish for, man. If you
Yeah.
start losing weight, getting new energy, you're going to have a whole bunch of new problems, man.
We do have guys in their 50, 40s and 50s in the brotherhood who have kids, brand new kids, because of that. So let me just ask you one last question about the health, because what you said you lost your business. Do you think that because you put yourself last, that was one of the reasons why the business you had to sell the business or close down the business? Do you think that was one of the reasons why?
No, no, I think that was the beginning of the transformation, really. Getting rid of the business, getting out of the relationship I was in.
Okay.
I had to make a change. So that was the beginning. It was the end of one set of lifestyle and
Mm.
became the beginning of a new set. At the time, it's just massively stressful. But looking back, that was the start, really. I had to release myself from these unhealthy relationships I was in.
So bring us back to that day when you made the decision. What was that feeling like? Obviously, it didn't all happen in, well, maybe if it
It
either happened all in one day, or was it like, okay, had to close the business. Now I get divorced. Now this happens. Like, was it like a domino effect, or was it like for me, it was I came home and like literally it was at the gym. The guy at the gym told me, "Hey man, you're working out and you still look the same." I go home 2 days later. I look at myself. I got a big belly. I'm totally 215 pounds, puffy muscle, and I'm like, "Oh my god." Then 2 days later, I get home and the girl that I was living with literally leaves. So for me, that everything happened like almost like at one time. How did it happen for you? And what was the moment when you said, "I got to make a
Yeah,
change"?
no, it was over 2 years, and I described it to my friends as kind of dropping a nuclear bomb, because again, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to disrupt my family and my kids specifically, and it took a lot of effort on my part to drop that nuclear bomb. When you have it in your mind, it's one thing, but when it becomes reality, that's totally different when you're starting to do it all. So it was a 2-year kind of nuclear explosion that went out, and I gained so much weight. They wanted me on all kinds of medication that my
Sure.
parents were taking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm 48. What do you? But I got to take this stuff. I was pre-diabetic. They were like, we got to watch you for diabetes. And my father was fighting diabetes and all those conditions that were going with diabetes. So I saw my parents decline, and I saw where I was heading as well. Heart attacks in our family were very common in their 50s. So I
Oh,
was looking at that, and I always tell people I wish it was because of all these medical conditions, but in reality, the moment it was of pure vanity. I was in Miami on Miami Beach, and they were selling
mhm.
those cheap, tacky Miami Beach, shirts, Hawaiian shirts, and I wanted to buy one for the beach. And I started at XL, it didn't fit. Double XL didn't fit. triple XL didn't fit, 4XL, they didn't have one. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm 4XL? When did this happen? And I started to sweat, and I remember running out of that shop, and I left my Oakley sunglasses behind. I left my baseball hat behind, and I went to the hotel room and just sat there and said, you got to change, man. You can't live like this. You can't be this big. And then the next week, the serendipity of it all was my student emailed me that he was starting a gym. He'd opened his own gym. 10 years ago, I helped him learn English. And he emailed me that week to say he was opening a gym. And I said, this is the moment. So I was literally his first customer at the gym. And he helped to save my life, as well as I helped him achieve his dream of owning his own gym. So that's the way life works, you know. And I do a lot with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Arnold talks a lot about giving back. 10 years ago or 15 years ago, I gave back to that student and helped him with his life. And 15 years later, 10, 15 years later, he's literally saving my life. And that's how it works when you learn to give and help people, that there are people there to help you, and people there to support you if you if you start looking for it and asking for it. So that week was a real changer in my life in Miami Beach, and then that email coming through.
Wow, I just got goosebumps because the feeling that you must have had, on the beach, embarrassment, but just also like the realization, right? Because you just had to be like, you're like, what the triple, like not even, like, okay, maybe I'm XL, okay, maybe I'm double, oh, triple, not even triple. Are you? What the? And then you're in Miami Beach, of all places, where like thongs and everyone's ripped and all this other stuff. You get back, and man, the fact that you had that self awareness, or the come to Jesus moment, I guess you call it. And
I never ever thought I was fat. I
right,
never,
wow,
at 300 pounds,
yeah,
I never thought I was fat. Big boned, jolly, funny guy. Fat? No, never entered my lexicon. Isn't that strange?
that is incredible.
And when I was
but
training for the competition at like 165, I'm like, damn, I'm so fat.
right, the mindset shift. Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying when you never, because sometimes we look in the mirror and we see somebody else, and we have that
Yeah.
like or we don't even look in the mirror. Like, sometimes we don't even, like, you realize, oh, I haven't, like when I saw that body of mine at 215, it was like, I just realized it's the first time I actually looked at myself in the mirror. Even though I'm showering and stuff and whatever, you just never look at yourself. So that is very interesting.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I commend you for is you ask for help. Men generally don't ask for help, specifically at 48 years old. So the fact that you did that was amazing. So let's dive into now what you did during this transformation. Take us on the beginning journey.
Sure.
Right? What was, like, you know what I mean? Okay, now I'm going to do it, but talking and action are two different things. So what were some of the things you did?
I always knew sugar was my problem. And so I actually took a vacation from work because I knew this was going to be really hard. And I sometimes recommend that to guys. Say, look, take a week off and find food, go shopping, go to the gym, get your, start, because you're going to be exhausted. And I was exhausted after working out and looking for just healthy food. But I stopped sugar for 4 days. No, I just went cold turkey, which I don't recommend. And it was day 4, and it was 8 p.m. and it was like, I don't know, I would imagine this is what an alcoholic feels, or what a person on drugs feels. I got the shakes. I had severe sweating, like I was going to have a heart attack. I didn't feel like I was going to have a heart attack, but I just started sweating, shaking. My wife had to carry me to bed. The bed was soaked when I woke up in the morning. And that was the sugar detox moment for me. I had never experienced anything like that. That happened in my first 4 days, and I thought, what the hell is going on? After that, it was about 14 days in when people started to, because I did start to lose weight fairly quickly, and not, I lost 23 pounds in the first month. All water weight, all that stuff. But I was eating carrot sticks and celery, and you know,
You went right to the extreme. You went from zero
I went
to
right to the
like,
which
hey man,
didn't last beyond the first month. I can tell you, it did not last beyond the.
Right. We got the rest of the alphabet here, man. You're already at Z.
It didn't last. But 2 weeks in, I made a video, and it's on my website, of saying, people started to make some jokes. They started to joke about my diet. Who's going to play Santa? Don't you want a Timbits, Tim Horton donuts? And they'd be eating it in front of me, and they were just being funny. But for me, it was like a ton of bricks. Like, this is what people thought of me. This is the image I was projecting. This was not who I wanted to be. But at the same time, it was really depressing, and it made me very upset and made me very depressed in my first 2 weeks. And I was going to give up. I made the video to say, if I don't give up, I'm going to post this video, which I did. I posted it on my website. But I got through it, and I got on the other side. And then the second month was more about finding food. It was really because goddamn, I could not eat celery sticks and carrot sticks anymore. I was dying. I need food, some real food. So learning, and I learning about keto diet, learning about intermittent fasting, and I don't subscribe to any diet because I use them all. They all helped me at different points. So some of the keto stuff that I was able to get, the low carb, low sugar stuff, really helped me in my second month. Atkins bars, even though I wasn't on the Atkins diet.
Really that's keto.
Atkins, some cloud bread I found online recipe. I made lasagna with cabbage and hamburger, anything to get kind of real food and not just eating vegetables into my diet.
Let me ask you a question about, I'm going to ask you two questions. I got to go back to this because this is an important part where you said on day 14, you almost quit, but also people were saying things to you that depressed you, gave you, again, more self-realization. I think there's a lot of self-realization happening right now because now you're like, oh my God, this is what these people thought of me. And then obviously the depression of like, oh shit, this is what people thought of me. But what kept you going? Did you almost have a chip on your shoulder to say like, I'll show you guys. Okay,
that's a perfect way to describe it. I was really angry. I was angry at myself, but I was also angry at them. And I thought, man, I'm going to show you people because I don't like everybody saying you can't do it. Everybody except my wife said you can't do it. And my kids, they were supportive. You can't. Everybody said you can't do it. There's no, even the gym friend who opened the gym, he never said it, but he said, I had my doubts you were going to do it.
and you know what? Just to go a little to that side, it's not like a negative thing because they don't know any better, right? You haven't shown them any better. They don't know. So they're just going by like, oh yeah, well, you're not going to do it because this is where you're at. And you have never gone to a gym that from what we understand. Right. And so I get it. I do understand when other people do say that. And that's why even more the fact that you had that chip and that you were like, all right, I'll show you, you know what, right now, maybe like this, but a year from now, we're going to talk.
And talking to Arnold about this, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he said, and what you're doing is fantastic. He said that we need more success stories. People need to hear that it's possible. And I didn't hear that it was possible until about month 5 when they took me to a bodybuilding competition. And in that competition, there was a body transformation category. And that's the category that I eventually would win. And I saw a 320-pound man there, and he had dropped down to 172, and I almost literally cried when I saw him. And I saw that it was possible. He got to 172, and and I can do this, and that was the big realization moment that everything that I've been working on is possible. So, telling people about your success, showing that it is possible. It's not a 28-day transformation. It's not internet bullshit. You have to put in the work. It's hard work, but and it's daily work. So, but going back to your question about the beginning days, I didn't exercise every single day. I only exercised once a week. A lot of people think you got to go to the gym every day, and what I did early on was control my food, and so my first 12 weeks, I went to the gym 12 times. Every Saturday, I would go to the gym. The rest was nutrition and diet and trying to control what I was eating. Because you cannot outrun a bad diet. You've got to get your diet under control, because you need the diet for recovery for later on when you're actually 100%. Doing the work. So you've got to get your diet under control. It's not about going to the gym and exercising. It's about getting that diet under control.
So so first, let's go back to the diet, because who taught you from month 1 to month 4? Okay, who taught you? Did you just do this on your own? You just looked that up and saw keto, tried keto, you didn't have a nutritionist, you didn't have a coach that kind of guided you through just from month 1 to 4?
Yeah, I had no nutritionist, no diet coach or anything like that. I had my gym owner who worked with me. He was a personal trainer and gave me some advice on foods to eat, all of which I hated, like fish and sardines, and I'm not eating this stuff, trying to find it. So it was a lot of just research myself, and going through the supermarket to find it, but and staying away from restaurants, didn't go to any restaurants. And shopping on the outside of the aisles, not buying any boxed food or anything like that.
That's great.
But really, he is a Korean gentleman, so he ate a lot of Korean food. So he didn't know really what Canadian food or American type food I could eat. So he wanted me to eat some of the Korean stuff, but it's a little too spicy for me. I had to find my way. And there's not a lot of good food out there, I can tell you. It's really hard to find good food. If you're listening and trying to start out, man, it's tough out there. So finding good food and a good diet, and good recipes and things like that. And I'm always looking for.
Oh, well, I can hook you up with our Alpha Nutrition to give you great foods, because one of the big things in my program is they love the fact that they can eat super healthy and still transform with good, healthy foods that taste absolutely incredible. So I'll hook you up with that.
Well, I needed you a few years ago, but I got it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking about back then. I got you. Okay. So the other thing I want to ask you is, what workout did you do those 12 times that you went to the gym?
It was so basic. It was basically, we were hitting the chest, the quads, the hamstring, and the back, 4 major groups, leg extensions, step ups, bench press, lat pull down. It was 3 sets of 10, and I was friggin' exhausted. I was exhausted. It took the week to recover. I was exhausted. Yeah. It was as basic a work, and that the workout now is actually my warm up now. So it's
it's like that shirt. My warm up is your workout. Okay, so now let's get to the bodybuilding portion now. So you get to the I don't know, was it the Arnold? Was it you went to an Arnold? You went to an Arnold event where it was a body transformation?
So it was actually in Canada. It was a Canadian bodybuilding event that they had the body transformation category. When we came out of COVID, I was sitting at about 175, and they were having a national. I actually lost weight during COVID. It was tough, but I did it. The national competition was happening in May, body transformation. And this was February. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for the national. And my gym owner, who eventually became my coach for the competition, he's like, you can't do it. It's not possible. And it's too early.
Yeah,
Get yourself back in shape. Go December. And, that same mentality clicked when people were saying you can't do it back when I started, saying I can't do it. I'm going to do it. And well, yeah, it was really hard. Then the next 16 weeks, we were 6 days a week. I was eating as lean and watching and weighing food, and in the calorie deficits. And he wanted me down to 145 to really show the muscles, and I got down to 151, and it was military style. I've never done anything harder in my life to prepare for a competition and get on stage and take off your shirt. But the hardest thing was posing, learning to pose. Learning to pose was the hardest thing I ever did. And I almost quit because I couldn't figure out how to pose.
Wow. Okay. So let's there's a couple of things to dissect here, because you just skipped from you were at 300 pounds and all of a sudden you're 175. You lost weight in COVID. You didn't tell us how you lost weight in COVID.
So in COVID, when COVID hit, March and April, the world was going to end, right? And I went out and I got pie and ice cream. I tell you, I ate fantastically. Everything I missed. And between March and June, I gained 16 pounds. And then they started talking about a vaccine. And I said, oh, shit, there's a vaccine coming? We can fix this?
Right.
I got to get back into shape. So the next, year and a half, 2 years was getting rid of that 16 pounds. And the way I did it was we went to a park. It was really Rocky Balboa. We're doing push-ups on the rocks. I'm running up a hill. I'm playing tennis with the ball on the wall by myself. Anything active. It was 3 days. It was three times a week walking, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then cardio in the afternoon. And then again, this weight resistance, body weight resistance, really, because I couldn't get dumbbells and barbells and workout gear. It was just impossible. And I just remember running up and down the damn hill. It was just like, I'm like, cue the music. And here comes Rocky running up this and down. So,
do you have any video of that? You should
there's some
do a
video
little
on my website.
You need to do a video.
There's a transformation video, and then there's a piece in there of my COVID workout. It was basically cardio, just a lot of cardio. And the weight training was very basic body weight training.
Yeah. So now you're 170. Now you go to this event. You're like, okay, I'm doing this 100%. Your coach is like, I don't think we can do it. So, but yes, now you go through these 16 weeks. So you told us your diet. Did he help you with the diet, or again, was this something you both
Yeah. So I wanted him to help me. I when I came out of it, the reason why he didn't want me to do it right away, because he was also coming out of COVID. Everything was opening up. And, he was trying to get his gym business back up and running. I mean, all that stress and hard work. And he just said, I don't have time to do it. But he gave me some ideas and some of the program, the weightlifting program, and told me the numbers. We monitored my caloric intake to the numbers that I was needed to hit. And I do a weigh-in every week and check in with him. But that was about all he did, until, again, about 4 weeks out, when I came to him and said I quit. And he's like, what? I was like 165 and 165. And I quit. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I said, I just went into the mirror. I did my pose, and I look terrible. And he goes, of course you do. You're in a mirror in your bathroom. You don't even know how to pose. So he said, he closed the gym down. He said, take off your shirt. Come over here, and he taught me how to breathe. He said, those guys on the magazine covers and everything like that, that's all practice, okay? You don't walk around with the six-pack showing. You got to practice. You got to breathe. You got to move. You got to know how to go between pose by pose. So he walked me through it, and he showed me how to breathe and show my six-pack. And I went, oh my God, I have a six pack. It wasn't a great six pack. I didn't get below
No,
15% body fat, but it was
that's
there. There's
okay.
an outline. I'm like, there's an outline of a six pack, man. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I couldn't get a great six pack, so I went for the Franco Columbo vacuum pose. I went with that
Yeah,
one
I love it.
because my
I
six
mean,
pack wasn't going to show, so we just went vacuum pose, old school vacuum
oh,
pose.
nice. Yeah,
And
yeah. I love that
yeah,
pose.
I found out Arnold loves that too. So he loves it.
Yeah,
He
I love
loves it
that
much
pose.
better than what they show now on the stage with the big bellies
Right.
and when
Sure.
they're posing. So
Yeah.
so it was 4 weeks of learning. I do an hour of workout and then a half hour of posing practice because my knee was
Yeah.
bad, so I couldn't move the way they wanted me to. So I had to move a little bit like an old man, a little bit mechanical, but it still
Yeah.
worked, and I got faster. It was like a dance. And if you guys know Arnold Schwarzenegger's Pumping Iron, he did ballet lessons to learn how to
Yeah.
pose,
Yeah.
and he's very big on posing and not shaking and watching the competitors. He's very very strict on this point on posing, and because it's an art
Yeah.
form, and I just have a small piece of 4 weeks of learning in my lifetime, but it was
Yeah.
so challenging. And I understand why he pushes that in bodybuilding to really have a great posing routine.
Yeah, my wife used to bodybuild, and her number one thing was pose. She was like she was the best
Was
poser.
she?
She always won that. She would teach other bodybuilders how to pose. So yeah, posing was huge, really huge for her. And yeah, definitely Arnold. He truly, truly, truly focused on posing. You can see him pumping iron. So now we get to the competition, and what happens? What happens at the
Yeah,
competition?
so the competition was absolutely crazy. I was so confident going in. I was feeling great. And I showed up, and then I saw everybody. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? This is the worst mistake I've ever made in my life. I can't
Yeah.
compete. I can't compete.
You're like George Costanza. I'm out of here.
I'm
I'm
out of
gone.
here.
I can't.
Uh,
George, come back here.
but
James, where are you going?
but I went into the room and I introduced myself and I said I'm in the body transformation, and everybody was so nice. They were so supportive. They congratulated me for taking this chance because they clearly had been there before. Many of them were competitors before, and they were. It was like a community of support I've never felt before, ever. And it really gave me tremendous confidence to walk out on stage, because I was saying I can't go out on stage, I can't go out on stage, and they're like, you have to. This is the greatest transformation, and you should feel great and go out there and be proud of what you've accomplished. And there were the people in the transformation category. There were people that were there were women that had breast cancer, and they'd been carved up, by through cancer surgery,
Right.
and they were like,
Yeah.
I'm going out there, let's go together. And I'm like, man, this is just, it was such a support
Right.
group, that I tell everybody, you have to try this once in your life. If you're doing any type of bodybuilding, just go, because the community
Mm.
it's amazing. I met a 68-year-old man. He was competing in novice physique, and he was competing against all these young guys. He was fantastic. I said to him, "You look amazing." And I was thinking, because
Mm.
I'm worried he's in my category, and but he wasn't. I was like, "Whew, thank God, I'm going to
Got to
lose
put
to
her in
him."
my face.
And he's like, "This is my 133rd bodybuilding show, and I started in my 50s like you." He was 68 years old. And I said, "That's incredible." He said, and I said, "What keeps you going?" And he said, "What keeps me going is that all my friends are looking for their retirement home, and I'm looking to go to Las Vegas to enter in the next competition. That's what keeps me going."
Right.
And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true. At age 54, where I am now, I start to see my friends starting to have health problems, and let's go,
100%.
guys. You're still young.
Hmm.
You're in your 50s. There's no reason why you can't solve these health problems, delay these health problems. Even I've had a little cancer scare myself, and I felt confident that I could come out of that whatever I had to go through on the other side because of what I've done with my health, nutrition, and fitness now. So I'm worried about any condition that is going to come down the road now, but I feel that confidence that I can survive it and get to the next crisis that may happen. Because you go from one crisis to the other, you got to be ready for that next healthcare crisis, whatever lays before you.
You're going to be hard to kill.
That's what I'm trying to do.
That's what
I
we're
don't
trying to do.
want to
Hard
die
to
yet.
kill. So what happened at the competition? Did you win? Did you lose? What's going on?
Of course, I won the competition. There was a wonderful lady from BC who I thought she was going to defeat me. She came in third, so I was a little surprised. And then another gentleman from Montreal and myself. So there's one from each province. And I won the 50-plus category and on the 40-plus category as well. And I did... In my confidence era, I went in and tried novice physique to take on the young bucks, and I lost.
Yeah,
but I did come in second. So
okay, wow, that's amazing.
I'll take it.
That's amazing.
But yeah, the guy that beat me was really good. He was really jacked.
I just want to say, man, like the story of Triple X, 300 pounds. All the way through the toughest times we've ever faced in all of our entire lives, the close down, the shutdown, and then being able to come out of that and go right to one of the hardest things in the world to do. I mean, on many levels. Number one, transforming, just again, continuing down the journey of getting from 170 to whatever you were when you stepped on stage. Number two, preparing for bodybuilding competition. Number three, being like, it's insane how difficult it is to get down to where you got down, and then standing on stage in your bikini, in your bikini bottoms or whatever underwear in front of all these people. Like that's a quadruple win. Like you won on all levels. And then the fifth win, of course, is the fulfillment, I'm sure, of all your hard work and dedication.
Actually, the fifth win you talk about, it was really hard. It's been very difficult. After winning, I've reached all the goals that I set for myself. I really had no vision. I didn't know what to do next. And everybody was saying, well, just maintain. But, you've been driven for so long by a vision, and that vision has been solved. What do you do next? And that's where I met Arnold in Austria.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let's get to the...
And he knew my story, and he said, you're fantastic, you're amazing, and what you need to do, James, is you need to lead by example. And you need to tell your story, yes, but you also need to help people. You need to give back, because there are people out there that are struggling as you struggled, and you need to give back. And so through his Pump Club app, I've been able to meet hundreds, and he actually deputized me for a day where I was Arnold, and I got to answer questions from people all over the world. And I realized answering those questions, how I was, my little pieces of advice were helping people, and they then inspired me by saying, I've gotta represent them. I need to represent and be strong for them because they expect that of me. So that give and take has been my next vision, where I wrote the book, and I was just in Columbus with Arnold and the Pump Club, where I met, a few hundred Pump Club members, and shared my story. And we went and worked out together at the gym, and they asking me questions. I'm helping one gentleman now through the app who has a problem with late night snacking, and another person, we're doing the McGill 3 together to try to improve our core stability, and we're keeping each other going, and so little things like that have helped me to get a new vision, which is I need to be responsible to the people that are looking at me as a success story. I can't fail them, basically. because they need me to be successful. Does that sound strange? Does that sound weird?
Not at all, because I relate 100% because I have my over 40 Alpha Brotherhood, 15,000 members who men over 40, 50, 60, 70. And, we do coaching calls every week. I'm in the Facebook group with them. I answer the questions like it's a brotherhood. And for me, one of the number one driver, other than my family, of course, and other things in my life, to stay healthy, to be healthy, to what my why is, days when because 80% of the time I don't want to work out because I know my workouts are very difficult. So I don't want to work out. I'm not going, oh, I can't wait to get a workout.
That's what people don't understand. Yeah. Don't want,
oh,
we
dude,
want to stay.
No way. Yeah, but like if there is a day that I feel like, okay, I'm not up to it, I'll go into Brotherhood and I'll start scrolling and I'll see all of them posting their sweaty selfies, and it's like, oh, I gotta do this. But I relate because but then when I see all the transformations, like that's what drives me to do this business. It's the transformations every day, seeing somebody go from 300 to 155, or just no longer on their blood pressure pills, or their relationship with their families better, or now they just did the Alcatraz swim where before they literally would never have done that. Like it's those things every day that when I open up my Facebook page or when I get an email that someone sends to me, I'm just like, oh, this is what I do. This is it. But I have to live by example, just like Arnold says, just like you're doing. So what you're saying is not weird. I 100% know what you're doing, but then also understand that with great power comes great responsibility, right? Like you have to be, and that's why I love that you're living this. And the Pump Club. Let's talk a little bit more about the community, how important community is for people for their journeys, to be able to be part of a community.
Yeah, I can't stress enough how important it is to have a community. It's the one thing I love about the Pump Club. It's the one thing I love about the Alpha Brotherhood, because when I started out, I didn't have anybody. I felt very, very alone. And I think when people start their diets, and this is why they fail oftentimes, is because they don't have that support group, that support network behind them, number one, and they don't see any success stories. So the community is there. Whatever community you belong to is so critically important, because I've had people say, well, I can't do what you do, James. You're a super athlete. And I'm like, who are you talking about? I was 300 pounds, man. I'm not any super athlete. I finished 710th in the 5K run, man. I am not a super athlete. It's just I do it every day, and I keep on a program, and I'm disciplined. And now I'm at a point where I need to do it, because if I don't do it, I feel terrible. But the community. And then you get great advice, you get great tips, you get great ideas from the community. You learn stuff. I've learned a lot of stuff from our community. And one of the things that I learn is their struggles become kind of my struggles. There's a gentleman here in Toronto that we connected with, and he had cancer, and not that I've been helping him, but his story and his struggles. And he's come through the other side, and he's gotten through all the chemo. And in January, he started his program again. I mean, I was just like so inspired when he told me all this. I'm back and I'm training every day. I'm like, that's what it's all about. And for me, hearing those success stories is incredible. And I didn't have that at the beginning. I can't stress, and I tell Arnold all the time, I can't stress how important the community feeling is. It's nice to meet Arnold. It's nice to do all of that, but meeting the hundreds of people that that are in the app, like yourself on the Alpha Brotherhood, meeting them every day and seeing them overcome the struggles is so cool. And then seeing them meet Arnold is really cool. Even 50 Cent met Arnold a couple of nights ago, and he was like a fanboy. That's awesome. It was really funny.
Yeah, of course. Arnold's a beast.
It's really fun to see the effect muscles have on people.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And I think like what you said again with the community, the one thing that I think the struggle for most men, we're going to go to the men now, 40, 50, 60, 70, is
Yeah.
asking for help, right? They don't want to feel like they're weak. But what is that message you're giving to those men who think it's weak when you ask for help to help you in your journey when you don't know anything?
And that's why Arnold said you can't change anybody, but you've got to lead by example. So that gentleman who
Right.
said you were a super athlete, he said that to me 3 years ago, and last year I met him, and he'd shaved off probably about 75 pounds, and I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, he didn't want to tell me he did it because of me or I was a part
Yeah.
of it or anything like that,
I know, right?
but he did it, and he saw that it is possible. And just a little bit of a
Yeah.
lifestyle change, and he had a little health conditions, that had some health problems, but he changed. And he's not a super athlete. He just lost 75 pounds. So I'm very proud of him.
Yeah.
So I always tell him how proud I am of him. I don't say, I don't tease him or anything like that, but I say,
No.
it's possible. It's not superhuman strength, but it is discipline,
Yeah.
and it is determination, and
Mm.
it's something that you have to do every single day. And uh, Arnold likes to say it's like brushing your teeth. I mean, don't you want to get up in the morning and brush your teeth? I mean, if you don't brush your teeth, you feel terrible. You get up, you exercise, you feel great. The world goes from black and white to color when you finish, and let's go attack the world after the workout. You feel amazing. So why wouldn't you do that? You comb your hair, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you work out. That's the routine in the morning. Simple.
That's awesome. You have a book. Tell us about
Yeah,
the book.
so the book is called "Transform Yourself: A Pump Club Story," and we in the book I take you through the bodybuilding phase, the 175 to 150 phase, that process and mindset to get on stage. It's not a weight loss book. It's just a story. I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm just telling you what I went through, and some of the techniques that I did to get on stage. I talk about posing. I talk about meeting, and then after the competition, meeting Arnold, and being part of the Pump Club, and inspiring Arnold to tweet out about me and talk about me. All of this stuff happened because I had a vision that I was going to be on stage, and in the transformation category, and that was my vision when I saw it after 5 months. After month
Yeah.
5, I said I'm going to be on that stage. And I told them I was going to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't remember saying that, but that's what they've told me. I said I'm going to be on stage with Arnold, and that's what's happened. And that was a vision that I had, and so you've got to have that goal. You got to have that vision. So the book is about that journey that I went through from day one of my bodybuilding kind of process. The other book I have out is called The 100-Pound War, and
Right.
that book is detailing the losing 100 pounds. And in that book, again, it's not a how-to book, but it's a lot of questions and answers, and it's just things that you can use to, if you're starting out on your journey, you don't know why you feel this way, or you don't know what's
Mm.
happening. You can take those questions and ask somebody like you, like, should I take fish oil? Or,
Right.
do I need to, what number should my carbs be at? I hear about this. So I don't want people going to the internet and searching it. I want them to ask professionals who know what
Right.
they're talking about and who know you. Because the other thing is, people need to know your body and what you're capable of and what works for you. I don't
Right.
like fish. So fish oil became a supplement, became a very important supplement for me, and it's helped with my arthritis in my knee. So it has a
Yeah.
couple of big benefits for me. And then I got to find which fish oil. That's the other thing. I'm not going to Costco and buying a crappy fish oil. What is the
No.
fish oil that I need? So,
Right.
getting some of those questions, and that's what the 100-Pound War is, so that it tells my story, but I hope it also it formulates questions for other people to take to professionals and say, this guy did this, should I do that? And learn about your body. The biggest thing that the two books show is just how I learned about my own body. Everybody is different. There is no diet that works for one person. There's no workout plan that works for one person. Everybody is different, and you have to learn your own body. When you learn your own body, what you can do, what you can't do, then you've moved into a healthy lifestyle that you can create a nutrition plan and a workout plan and all of those things. But you got to know your body.
Man, this has been such a pleasure. I'm inspired by you. I'm motivated by you. I'm excited. I love the premises of your both books. I think go get those books. You get them on Amazon. Get them at your website. We'll get that in a second. The story is absolutely incredible. I know the hard work it takes to transform and to do what you've done. And the fact that you did it and you're still on this journey, you got 50 more years with your kids. You're going to be doing burpees at 100 years old. You got the Body Pump Club, which I love. I love that premise. I love the Body Pump Club. I love that you're part of and integral to that club. Man, this has been great. I'm so excited. And I love that you're Canadian. You're right down the street from me, baby. We're Canada, baby. We're not for sale, but we'll help you lose weight, right?
We'll sell our fat to you if you want.
Exactly. No tariffs on our fats. You can have it.
No tax, no tariffs.
No tax. So how can people find you? How can people where what website? Let us know. Let us know.
So 100 Pound War. So 100poundwar.com is a website, and I post a lot on Twitter or X. So it's James for Markham, Ontario. So James for Markham is my X account. So you can go on there. I post a lot of my stories and videos through that. I don't know why, but that's the format that we're using. Yeah. There's a little bit on Instagram and stuff, but the X is where I'm sharing out kind of on a daily basis what we're doing.
Awesome.
So if you want to follow or ask any questions, I'm on X there as well.
Well, so thank you so much for being on the show, and hopefully we'll meet.
Thank you for all your hard work. Yeah, let's work out.
100%. Let's do it, baby.
Let's have a workout. So, I'll invite you out to our next Pump Club workout.
Please do. I'll be there. All right. Thanks so much for being on here, and we'll talk soon.
Take care. Thank you, Frank. Bye-bye.